You always got to bring politics in. Do you support the Trump impeachment? See, there's good politics and bad politics. Good politics. I had an hour-long conversation with Dominic Bailey. He's an author in our space. He's just about published a book on taxes. And I was in one of his prior books, and he's a good friend. And every now and then he calls me up and says, "Hey, Gerald, I got this thing." I said, "All right, I'll come on." So I'll post the interview. He wants to post it. I'll post it. Okay. Maybe I'll post it tonight because I have it in my email. And anyway, we talk about taxes and political theory and social contracts and the nature of government and how the government should tax people and what's fair market versus a controlled market. We just went all over the place. It was a beautiful political dialogue. We're a little different on the political spectrum, but it was a good conversation. Trump impeachment, you can't have that conversation. You really can't. Whatever you say, some group of people's brains just short circuit and they go fucking crazy because it's politicized and propagandized to a point where no meaningful dialogue can be held. The proper dialogue should be, what relationship should the American people and expectations should the American people have with their president? So first, the process. It is completely unnecessary and counterproductive to do political kabuki theater and impeach a president who's no longer in office. It makes no sense. If you believe his conduct was criminal, then what you do is you appoint a special prosecutor. You have the special prosecutor examine it just like Mueller did, and private citizen Trump has no immunity. He can be subpoenaed. He can be forced to talk to the FBI. He has to be open about it. The special prosecutor can spend 2 years grinding away at that. He also, if it's a crime in Washington, D.C., why is the prosecutor there not investigating Trump? Do it. Okay, there's tax problems, there's issues in the state of New York, there's going to be criminal and civil investigations in D.C., and yes, you should have appointed a special prosecutor. All of these things to private citizen Trump can and should be done for the events of the 6th. Okay, and all the communications, the text messages, the emails, the things that ought to be members of public record about what was being said publicly versus privately and what was known should be scanned through and examined. That's how you actually solve the problem. Not political theater, not a vanity impeachment that won't happen, that'll be on party lines with a few defectors here and there who will be primaried in 2022. You don't accomplish anything with that. But you see, politics is not about accomplishing things. It's about vanity victories to preserve power while they steal from you. Okay? You're the victim. And they're entertaining you while someone is taking your wallet. Someone's putting handcuffs on you. Someone's screwing you. This is the first thing you must learn. You must transcend all of this and realize that they only get power when you give them power. And they are only powerful when you pay attention to them. If you ignore them, you go about your day and you diminish their role and relevance and don't watch, they lose ratings. Mass media falls apart. Go to alternative media, if you do things outside of the spectrum of things, if enough people do it, then eventually the system will collapse and a new system will be born. So you just can't talk about politics anymore. Everybody they get so angry. They don't want to solve problems. And that's where we're at in America. And I honestly don't believe there's a way out of it outside of a complete reformation of the system. The only way, in my view, at this point is a constitutional convention. The whole social contract has to be renewed and rewritten. A new constitution needs to be created. The federal government needs to be torn down and the fourth branch rein in, the bureaucratic arm, and a new government needs to be created, born like a phoenix of the ashes of the old one through a constitutional reformation process. And it will not happen at the federal level. They will not give power back at this point. And you can't vote your way out of it. It's rigged. Absolutely rigged. It's a two-party system. The primaries are rigged. It was going to be Jeb Bush, Hillary Clinton. Trump short-circuited a little bit. They tried to rein him in. When they couldn't, they got rid of him. And now Biden, the swampiest of swamp creatures, is in power. I don't even think he's cogent, sitting there smiling as he signs executive order after executive order, probably not even knowing what's in them. And a whole bunch of handlers are running the whole White House and rebuilding the swamp and putting their own swamp in. Trump was incompetent, and so he had the capacity and capability as an outsider to drain it, but he let the swamp creatures back in, starting with Reince Priebus, and then filled his whole cabinet with swampy people. Stephen Mnuchin, for example, who fucked our industry. Fuck that guy. And many other swamp creatures. Okay. And then they filled the bureaucracy with more swamp creatures, or gave extra swamp treats to the swamp creatures. It's Swamp Thing infinity. You can't change it. The only way you can is a constitutional convention, rewrite the Constitution, new federal government. Old one gets fired, gets its pink slip. And they can't stop you. No branch of government can. That was the one escape valve that the founding fathers gave it. And time has come to do that. And until we do that, I'm not interested in any of it, because I didn't consent for it. I didn't vote for it. I have no say in it. And I'm basically told to shut up, take a deep breath, and hope they put lube on. That's your rant of the day.